morning everyone, ready for this morning's Move and Improve session. All core work and glute work today, so really focusing in on getting that strong midsection will really help with the other training that you've been doing this week with Tristan, all the high intensity to get a bit of strength in the glutes and core. So we're going to stretch off first. Once we've loosened off a little bit, then we'll focus on some movements for the core and then we'll finish with the glutes. So I just want you to sit up nice and tall, sitting on your heels if you can, and just take some deep breaths in and roll the shoulders back and down. Deep breath in, shoulders back and down. So really draw those shoulder blades down towards the bottom. Breathing in, draw the shoulder blades down and down. Then we're just going to take hold of one wrist. So I'm taking hold of my right wrist here and lean it over to my left, and I'm pulling over, pulling that right hand all the way over. My palm is facing the camera. And then we'll swap. So right hand grabs the left, pull on the arm and reaching over, keeping that bottom down onto the heels. And then let's drop the arms. And one more time, let's reach up with that right hand, grab it with the left and move over to the left side. Lengthening out down the side and holding on to the other side and lengthening through. Then you're going to sit back, pushing the bottom back, extending the hands away from you. So into a child's pose position. So extending away, fingertips away, bottom away, and pushing that chest down towards the floor. Let's take some deep breaths here. So really lengthen out that spine, push the bottom away, push the fingertips away. Now we're going to place one hand on top of the other and we're going to reach towards that side. And then let's stretch to the other side, hand on top and reaching down. And then we're going to come to lying on the back. So we want to get those heels close to the bottom and hip distance apart. Let's draw those shoulder blades down towards the bottom and relax those shoulders onto the mat. So having your palms facing upwards might help with that. And we're just going to do some pelvic rocks. So we're just making that gap between the back larger and then smaller, larger and smaller, keeping those palms facing up. Then we're going to draw those ribs down to the hips, tightening the tummy, and we're going to lift one leg into a tabletop position. So you want to make sure that that knee is above the hip, and then we take the second leg, knee above hip. So that tummy should be nice and tight now. Nice and tight, holding everything in. And then we're going to tap the toe. Tapping down and coming back up. Breathing out as you tap. Breathing in as you come back up. So tummy staying nice and tight. The movement for this comes from the hip joint, so the angle of my knee doesn't change. So alternating those taps, but I'm keeping the knee angle the same. Movement comes from the hip. Pressing down and coming. All that time you're bracing your abdominals, minimal gap between the back and the mat. Let's go for one more on each side. And hold there in position. So keeping that knee above the hips, keeping the tummy brace nice and tight, relaxed in the neck. We're going to go for a double tap. Now, if this feels too much, go for single leg. So stay with the single leg. If you can, both legs, double tap. So all that work is in the abdominal area. Let's go for another 4. Breathing out as you lower. Breathing in as you come back. And one more. And hug those knees in. And just gently rock side to side. Now we're going to extend those legs up. So flexing the feet, pushing the heels away and extending. So back now is pushing down nice and flat against the mat. So you may not be able to get this full stretch down the back of the legs. If you can't, slight bend in the legs is fine, but flex those feet towards the shins. So we're going to go for some leg lowers, but with a flexed foot. So relax those shoulders, melt them down into the mat, palms up, tummy braces as we drop and raise, drop and raise. Breathing out, breathing in. Now if your back starts to arch as you come in low down, then stop a little bit higher. So your range may be here and then come back up. But stay with it. So feet are flexed, pointing up, so you should feel a tightness down the front of the legs. Keeping the tummy nice and tight. Let's go for one more on each side. And hugging those knees in. So you can either stay with that movement or we can take it up a level. So flexing those feet up towards, toes towards the head. We're going to lift the head and shoulders, so nice wide elbows as we raise and lower. So staying nice and tight in that tummy. Keeping the leg nice and tight, so nice and tight around the knee. We'll go for one more each side. And hug those knees in. And gently rock side to side. So we're going to come up into a seated position now. So we're going to do that going into some roll downs and roll ups. And then we'll move into a reverse plank. So we're going to start in a seated position. Legs out in front. Try and relax those legs. Engage the abdominals. We're going to C-curve the spine. So hands come out in front. We C-curve the spine and we slowly come down. One vertebra at a time. Nice and slowly. All the way down. Arms come overhead, we circle the arms and we slowly curl back up, nice and smooth, up nice and tall. And again, so your roll back may be a partial roll back, so you may want to just come to here and come back up again, or you may want to go with a full roll down, nice and slowly. Arms coming overhead, circling those arms and coming back up. If you do feel like you need some support, you can grab a cushion, pop it behind your back, and as you come down, just come to that partial roll down and come back up, just giving you that extra support there. So those shoulders still drawing away from the ears as we roll down. Breathing out. As you come back up. And hands come behind. So they're slightly away from my shoulders in this position. Chest lifts. And then we push up into that reverse plank position. So now my shoulders should be above the wrists. We're squeezing those thighs together, squeezing the bottom and lifting up nice and high. Chest is tall, gaze is forward and coming back down. And we go for spine stretch. So reaching forward, we're going to reach all the way forward towards the toes. Then we're going to slide those arms back, fingers face towards your bottom. If that's too much of a stretch, those hands can face out to the side. We want to get those triceps working, so hands facing forward as we lift up. Squeezing the bottom, chest nice and high. Squeezing those inner thighs together. Squeezing the bottom up. Chest nice and tall. And down we come, reaching forward for that spine stretch. We got one more of these. So in this spine stretch, you should be pushing those knees down and flexing the toes up towards the face. Sliding those hands back along the mat, lifting the bottom, pushing the heels through the floor, lifting up nice and high. Chest up. And hold. And slowly coming back down and reaching forward into that spine stretch. Then we're going to come back to that roll down and finish lying on our back for some more tabletop core work. So relaxing the legs. If you need to go down, using the arms. Deep breath in to prepare, up nice and tall, and as we breathe out, we lower down. Finding your neutral spine position, so tightening up the distance between the ribs and the hips. Feet come in line with the hips. We lift one leg, we lift the other leg. So we're in a nice tight tabletop position. From here, we're going to extend the legs up, so leading with the heels as we push up and come back down to tabletop. Push up with the heels, come back down to tabletop. So keeping that tummy tight, tensing the thighs as you drive those heels away. Pushing up and coming down to tabletop. So movement from the knee joint with this movement. Keeping the tummy tight. Breathing out, breathing in. So we're locking out the knees and we're pushing the heels right up. Let's get a couple more. Now you can stay with this movement, or we can go out at a 45-degree angle. So we push and come back to tabletop. We push and come back to tabletop. So again, nice and relaxed with the shoulders. All of the work is in that core and with the legs. So you're really pushing those heels away and coming back into that tabletop position. Pushing away. Let's get a couple more. And let's hug those knees in. Before we go into some side oblique work, we'll just stretch off that spine. So you're going to pop your right leg over your left, lift the left leg off the mat, and you're going to roll the legs now down towards the left. Let's bring arms into a crucifix position, palms facing up. Head looks the opposite way, so my head's looking over to the right. We're trying to keep the shoulder onto the mat. We should feel that nice stretch all the way down the hip. Coming back to centre. Let's swap the left leg over the right. Legs come down to the right. Head looks to the left. And just relax into that stretch. Trying to keep that left shoulder down onto the mat as we come back up. So we're going to pop the hands now behind the head, nice wide elbows. You're going to pop your right leg over your left, and we're going to twist towards the right. So as we twist towards the right, we're going to extend the left leg. So let's take that left leg off the mat. As you reach now your elbow towards the right, you're extending the left leg, coming back down. Tabletop position with the foot and the shin, and then we extend and twist. And we twist. Breathing out as you reach, breathing in as you come back. Let's get 3 more. Fully extend that leg away. And swapping those legs over. So left comes over right, pick up the leg, and we're reaching that right elbow towards the left knee. Reach and come back to tabletop position. Reach and come back to tabletop. So we're thinking about getting that opposite rib over to the hip, while keeping those elbows nice and wide. Coming up to a halfway point where we're going to change to our glute work. Last one. And hug the knees in. So let's go on to some glute work. Just before we do, we'll stretch out. So sitting up nice and tall. If you need to have a block or a cushion under your bottom to get that upright position, we're going to come into a boat position. So if you need to hold on to the back of your legs to lift the feet, or if you can without, we're just going to lengthen out the leg, stretching up and coming back down. So in that boat position, lengthening the leg, and coming back down. Reaching up. And if you can, both together, extend back down. Couple more. Let's go on to some side lying. So let's go on to those glutes. So I'd like you to lie on your side. Option to come onto the elbow. But with this, ideally, we'll lie on the bicep. So we're going to stack those hips, stack the shoulders. I want you to bring your knee up to a 90-degree angle. So if you are on a mat, your shin will be on the edge of the mat and your thigh will be parallel. So you've got that 90-degree angle. So hips are nice and stacked. We're going to bring that top leg in line with the thigh. Use your hand for support if you need to. And we're going to lift and lower. So thighs come together in this position. Lift and lower. Make sure there's a gap under your waist so that your pelvis is level. So you may need to give it a little push to lengthen out the side and keep that gap between your waist and the mat. And we're dropping and we're raising up. If you need to, hand here for support. So those thighs are coming together. So you're at that right angle between torso and legs. Dropping and raising. Nice and soft with the foot. Nice and long with the torso. Nice and long with the leg. Let's get a couple more. And then we hold it up. Let's swing that leg back. And then we'll swing the leg forward. Swing back to come into a nice long line. Squeeze of the glute. Bring it forward. come back, not letting that side sink into the mat. Keep it here. Fully extend that leg. Let's get a couple more. And give it a tap. And a shake out. We'll do the same on the other side. So let's get that positioning right. So either onto the elbow or lying onto the bicep. Right angle with the knees, shins. And we're going to extend that top leg. Leveling off the pelvis, so we've got a gap here. So we're nice and straight here, nice and straight through the shoulders. Hand down if you need to level those thighs up. Drop and raise. Drop and raise. Good, nice and smooth. Dropping and raising, keeping that core tight. All the work here in the glutes. Dropping and raising, breathing out, breathing in. Let's get a couple more here. And then we're going to go for those top leg swings. So coming backwards, coming forwards. If you need to have a hand for stability, pop your hand down. We're extending that leg, nice soft foot. So we're not flexing, we're not over pointing. Just swinging that leg forwards and backwards. So we come to that 90-degree angle and then we come to that nice straight line. Let's get a couple more. And relax that leg down. Excellent. So our next movement for the glutes, we're going to come into all fours. So we want that nice flat back. We want the wrists under the shoulders and the knees under the hips. We're going to extend one leg back as far as you can. So you've got that nice long line. And we're going to lift the leg. Come a little bit further forward. And we're going to lift the leg. So we don't want any twisting or opening of the pelvis. We want to keep nice and solid. We want the tummy nice and tight. Nice long line. And we're just going to tap the toe and raise. Tap the toe and raise. Tap and raise. Stay nice and square. Tapping and raising. So you're using your glute to lift the leg. So really think about the bottom squeezing as the leg comes up. Then we're going to hold here. I'm going to point the toe and flex the toe. Point and flex. Point and flex. Point and flex. So stay with that pointing and flexing. And then we'll stay with that flex position. And we'll just hold here. So checking that the tummy's in, the leg's nice and long, we've got that flex foot. Now with that flex foot, we're going to bend and then we're going to extend. We're going to bend and extend. Bend and extend. So you bend into a 90-degree angle and extending. Keeping that heel pushing down, foot nice and flexed. Let's get a couple more. And then we're going to hold in that flex position and we're just going to pulse that heel to the ceiling. So stay with it, tummy's in nice and tight, and we're pushing that heel up. Bouncing a ball off that heel. Push, 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 push. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and sitting back down. And just stretch out here, take a breath. Stretch that glute out. And we'll go on to the other side. So, back to the all fours position. Tummy tucks in, knees are under hips, nice long spine, extending the leg away. And we're just going to lift and toe tap. So nice long leg, lifting and toe tap. Nice and steady. You want to keep your tummy tight. Imagine that you've got something resting on your back. Tray of dinner that you don't want to move. Doesn't matter how high the leg comes as long as that glute's working. So I would rather you come to here than here and have an arch in your back. So just using that bottom to lift and lower. And then we're going to come up and we're just going to flex and point the foot. Flexing and pointing. Shoulders away from ears, belly button draws in and up towards the ribs. And then we're going to hold in that flex position. So hold in that flex position. And then we're going to flex and come down. So up to that 90-degree angle and back down. Pushing that heel away as you go. Push that heel. Let's get a couple more and then we go to the pulses. So foot facing up, and with the heel we pulse up towards the ceiling. Pulse, pulse, pulse. So fast little movements, keeping that 90-degree angle, using the heel for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relaxing down. Let's stretch those arms out, stretch the bottom away. And then we'll just come into a spine stretch. So all fours. We're going to tuck the tummy in. We're going to nod the chin onto the chest. And we're going to round off the back. Think about rounding off the lower back. Upper back will follow. And then we're going to draw those shoulder blades down to the bottom. Lifting the head high. Dropping the tailbone. And as we breathe out, we're going to tuck back under. Pushing the floor away and dropping between cat and cow. Now lying onto the front, slowly lowering yourself. We're going to draw the belly button in so that the abdominals are on nice and tight. And we're just going to come, you may need a block or a cushion under the head here. We're going to turn the toes to face out. So my heels now are touching each other from this way, just so that you can see that the heels are turning in and touching. So we're in that frog position, but we want nice long limbs. Heels are touching, tummy draws in, and we're just going to beat those heels together nice and gently. Tap, 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 tap. So stay with those taps. Tummy draws in, bottom squeezing, legs are nice and long, and we're tapping those heels together. Tap, 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 tap. Keep tapping for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and relax. Let those legs relax. Then we're going to turn those feet out again. Heels come together. And we're just going to raise the knees as we lift up. So we're just going to raise those knees, squeezing the bottom, toes facing out, heels together, bend of the knees, lifting, squeezing the bottom for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and pushing back into child pose. And just extend those fingertips as far away from you as you can. Push the bottom back. Should feel like that bottom's been working. Feel like the core's been working. Really help all your other training. So we'll come back to our starting position, sitting on the heels. Let's take them shoulders up, back and down, and relax them down. Up, back and down. Draw those shoulder blades down towards the bottom as the belly button draws in. Up, back and down, and relax those shoulders. Then we're going to hold on to the right wrist, and we're just going to pull and extend over. And swapping sides, holding on to that left wrist, pulling that arm and extending over. So really pushing down with the sit bones on the opposite side. One more time, holding up and reaching over. Holding the wrist, breathing out. Excellent. And we're all done. Well done everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.